Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different to my usual garage antics. I'm working on a project for somebody who's asked me to make some cookie cutters and cookie presses for some work they're going to be doing with Play-Doh in the near future. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate to you how I'm going to take the artwork provided by that person and converting that into a 3D printable cookie press and cookie cutter. I hope you enjoy this bit of a different adventure that I'm going on today. I'll be recording all of the work from where I start in Adobe Illustrator with the original PDF of the artwork, and then ultimately how I take that artwork, convert it into vectors, bring it into SolidWorks, and then use SolidWorks to create the press. So I hope you enjoy this journey with me today. I'm going to begin this adventure with Adobe Illustrator open, ready to go, and the PDF version of the artwork that's been supplied to me. You can see here I've been given dimensions. The cutters need to be 5 centimeters at the widest point. As I've got a maximum width of 50 millimeters, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new file, and I'm going to make my artboard 75 millimeters by 75 millimeters, and then I'll have constraints which I can place the artwork in, and I'll know my boundaries. So I'm just going to start with my raster image that's located here in this PDF. I'm just going to right click and click on copy image. And then over here in Adobe Illustrator, I'll press Ctrl and V to paste that image into position. Now I'll need to resize this image, and the width, if you can remember, had to be a maximum of 50. So I'll change that value there to 50 millimeters. I'll make sure I've got the chain link to maintain the aspect ratio of the image. And now I have my image resized, ready to go. To begin with, I'm going to come over to this image trace and click that. And I'm going to try black and white logo. Let's see what that looks like. That looks perfect to me, exactly what I want. I now need to expand the selection and ungroup the selection. And this will allow me to select these vectors and delete them. Adobe Illustrator has done a wonderful job of tracing that raster image and converting them into vectors. Now I just want to select all of these vectors and make sure that they meet the specified width, which is 50 millimeters. Now, in order to be able to work with these vectors in SolidWorks, what I want to do is click the export and then export as from the file menu. And from the drop down list here, I'll export as DXF. It's important to make sure in the scale I select 1:1 and the units are millimeters. So now that I'm happy that the units match in both documents, I'll click OK, and now that is saved and ready to be worked on in SolidWorks. Okay, to save you having to watch through the boring process of me building the handle, I've just gone ahead and built a pre-prepared handle, and now what I'm going to do is demonstrate how I can bring the vectors in that I worked with in Adobe Illustrator and create a cookie cutter and press from those vectors based on the artwork that was supplied to me. First thing I'm going to do is click Normal to on this surface here. Selecting that surface, I'm now going to go to Insert, DXF, and I'll select the vectors from the folder I saved them in. Coming over here So I make sure that they are imported to the part as a 2D sketch. Click Next. I need to select the units, which of course are millimeters, and I need to select the layers. In this case, I have all layers selected. Clicking Next again. I'm just going to leave this merge points at the default setting and finish. Now you can see the vectors have been placed over here near the work. I need them to be located in the center of the work. So in order to do that, first I need to make sure that sketch is editable. So when it first was imported, it's come in as a locked sketch. So to change that, I right click on the sketch and click Make Edit Sketch. I can now right click on that sketch again and click Edit Sketch. Select all of those vectors and move them about till I'm happy with their location on the face of the cookie press. The next problem with this is because I'm making a press, then I need to ensure that I've actually got a negative of the image or a mirror version of the image, because these vectors are going to be pressed into the surface of Play-Doh. If we press them in the way they are, they'll appear back at us as a mirror image. So what I will do is continue to edit this sketch. I'm now going to draw a center line, and I'm going to do that right in the middle of the circle, going vertically from that center point. I'll now select the Mirror Entities tool, select all of those vectors. I need to deselect the center line, so I'm hitting Control on my keyboard and clicking that to unselect. I'm now mirroring about that center line, so I click over here in that box to mirror about, click on the center line. I've got a preview there, everything looks fine. I just need to untick copy because I don't want both copies of the vectors. I only want to keep the mirror image. Click the tick and away we go. The next thing to do now is to extrude the vectors for the press. So I'm going to use the Features tool, Extrude Boss Base. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and select all of those vectors for extruding. And I'll extrude those 4 millimeters. There we have it. I've now extruded those vectors required to make the press. It's a mirror image of the artwork that was supplied to me. I'll now save that as the press. I'm now going to create another copy of this file. And at this stage, I've got a choice of making a different configuration of the same file. To keep it simple, I'm just going to delete this feature. And I'm going to start again with this sketch and create a new extruded boss base. This time, I'm just going to use those vectors from the outside and create a thin feature. I'll make the thickness of the thin feature 1 millimeter. And I'll extrude this 15 millimeters. And now I have the negative image of the actual cutter. I can click File, Save, and that's it. So that's how I can take a artwork from a PDF that was supplied to me, create the vectors from that using Adobe Illustrator, and export them as a DXF file. And finally, build those vectors into a SolidWorks drawing. It's nice and easy. Anybody can do it. And as I've said before, SolidWorks is easy. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Until next time, see you later.